Hot dish isn't a meal or even a word that I grew up with, but after hearing that it's the best and most comforting dish that money can buy, I figured we should dig into it, you and I. I live in the Midwest, which is where this dish comes from. I grew up here, I've lived here my whole life. And let me tell ya, when the winter hits, and you're standing outside in the sub-zero temperatures, scraping 3-inch thick ice off of your windshield in the pitch black, even though it's 6:30 in the morning, comfort food suddenly becomes a necessity. Now there are literally dozens of different types of hot dish out there, from hamburger to taco, and everything in between. And if you're from another part of the country, you might call these casseroles, but we'll get into that later. So what I've done is gone ahead and chose 3 of the most beloved and popular hot dishes from the region they come from. First, we're gonna cook them, then we're gonna taste them, we'll talk about them, critique them a little bit, and take all the lessons and the best parts from each hot dish today to fuse together our own version and make what should be, in theory, the best, most comforting hot dish humanly possible. Did that make sense? Humanly possible.
What in the Samuels of Wisconsin is that?
We're gonna try our darndest to make a dang tasty hot dish. To begin our journey, I figured we'd start with the OG, the original hot dish. The one that hot dish lovers might even consider the GOAT. A hot dish, which is actually one word, is a type of casserole traditionally defined by a mix of 3 key ingredients: a starch, a meat, and vegetables, all bound together by a creamy binder of sorts, often like a canned soup. So I guess maybe that's 4. This all originated in the upper Midwest, specifically in states like Minnesota and North Dakota. So the story goes, in the early 1900s, farm families and churches had to feed a lot of people with very little money. 1 pan, cheap ingredients, everybody gets fed. The first hot dish recipe actually shows up in a Minnesota church cookbook in 1930. It called for ground beef, pasta, vegetables, canned soup, no spices, no garnish, and no, this was not a mistake. This was survival cooking during the Great Depression, when stretching food mattered more than the flavor of it. Oh, also, by the way, like church cookbooks, this is like a very common Midwest thing for this time period. You see them everywhere. You can get them at like yard sales too, which is kind of cool. Now, as the decades passed with time, the newly booming American processed food industry changed the hot dish. Cream of mushroom soup became the glue. Frozen vegetables made it more nutritious and more accessible, and kind of more than just a meat punch. Then in the 1950s, tater tots, which were actually invented using potato scraps, ended up as the crown on the most famous hot dish of all time, which is what we're making here today.
Frozen potatoes. They taste good.
So you might call this tater tot hot dish sort of the matriarch of all hot dishes. Hot dishes. But the hot dish isn't just food. It's social. You don't ever make a hot dish for just yourself. You make it for your family, for potlucks, for big community dinners, and yes, even funerals. Because in Minnesota, if somebody's having a hard time, a hot dish shows up on their door to help ease the pain. So yes, every region has casseroles, but the upper Midwestern states named it, claimed it, and built an identity around it. Hot dish is practical, it's humble, it's communal. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about feeding your people something warm, satisfying, and homey. It's basically Midwestern hospitality, morals, and ideals packed into a 9x13 and baked in the oven. If the tater tot hot dish is the mama bear, then this is one of its cubs, not to anthropomorphize a casserole dish. Behold, the chicken and wild rice hot dish. And I actually had no idea, but Minnesota is famous for its wild rice, and it's actually the state's official grain, which was also new to me that a state could have an official grain. Minnesota actually has more natural beds of wild rice than any other state, and it's a major producer of it. And if you have an aversion to brown rice and you haven't tried it in years, don't worry, this is not that. It's a lot more interesting. There's about 5 different types of rice in this mixture, so give it a try before you whack it. The thing about hot dish is that a lot of them were kind of designed around leftovers. In this case, leftover chicken. So what is this? Well, this is just cooked chicken thigh that I made yesterday and shredded up by hand like this. Remember, this is not gourmet cooking, and this is not flexitarian approved either. The craziest technique you need to know to make a hot dish is sweating vegetables and maybe mixing stuff in a bowl. None of these recipes are going to call for any wild French technique or talk about the Maillard reaction. We're cooking this just like Meemaw used to make it, straight from the church cookbook. This literally looks like creme anglaise, like ice cream based, like dessert custard, but it's chicken cream of chicken. Oh yeah. This is quite the sensation. Hot vegetables, cold chicken goo, lumpy rice. Interesting. feel like that's a good consistency probably. Now, in my opinion, and it seems the opinion of many home cooks from this era, every hot dish needs a crispy topper. And that could mean using a number of ingredients from crackers to cornflakes to anything that would, get crunchy and crispy. And to achieve said crispiness, you can really use anything crackery, right? Maybe like a cereal, crackers, toss it with some butter, some salt, maybe a couple other things if you want to get crazy, and then sprinkle it on top. Boom, you have a crusty top. Even if your casserole is, a little lacking in texture. So this one might be the most polarizing hot dish of all time. And of course I'm talking about the Tuna Hotdish, or what many of you may know as tuna casserole. Tuna casserole is a mid-20th century American invention born when three things collided: canned tuna, condensed soup, and women being told that dinner should cost 47 cents and solve low morale issues.
Best way I know to stretch my food budget is to reach into my cupboard for a can of Campbell's.
Okay, so in the early 1900s, Americans started eating a lot more canned fish, especially tuna, because refrigeration sucked and the ocean just kind of felt infinite. By the 1930s and 40s, canned tuna was cheap, it was shelf-stable, and considered modern at the time, very sexy. Then came condensed cream soups, like we talked about, which were basically just kind of, culinary cheat codes. Add milk, dump over some noodles, call it dinner. This was peak sort of science will save us energy, if you will. Then, after World War II, Tuna Hotdish or tuna casserole exploded in popularity. Why? Because meat was expensive, families got bigger, moms were exhausted, and tuna casserole could feed 6 people in one pan. It was super easy. Little dishes, for the same reasons we still like it today. It quickly became a potluck classic, a Midwestern icon, and a staple of the 1950s to 1970s American dinner table. I don't know if it's my inner Caucasian, but this doesn't seem like that gnarly to me. But by the 1980s and 90s, tuna casserole developed a reputation issue because, well, kids hated it. Ho-ho! We're partying. Food culture totally changed, fresh ingredients became cool again. Suddenly, anything involving a can and a beige sauce was considered a crime. And now, ironically, it's back. Rebranded as sort of like a nostalgic, retro thing that some people hate to admit they actually like. Yeah, so you'll notice that I added cheese in this one, which makes it extra gooey, and you're probably thinking to yourself, cheese and fish, it's actually pretty good, or actually pretty disgusting depending on who you ask. Regardless, we're gonna top this one with cornflakes that have been drenched in butter. That's gonna get nice and crispy. It's gonna taste real nice too. So yeah, pretty simple. Okay, we have all of our hot dishes built. Now we just gotta bake these things. These recipes are all a little different. I'll have them in the description or somewhere on the website for you to follow if you wanna cook along. Really what we're doing here is just kind of warming things through, then making sure our tops get nice and brown and crispy. You can do that in a number of ways. You can first cover these, then uncover them. You can keep these uncovered the whole time and just keep an eye on them. You can use the broiler, but I would be careful with that. A lot of dry, crispy things here that can burn easily. I'm going to put all these in uncovered and just kind of watch until they get nice and bubbly and start to brown. If I need them to brown a little more, I'll move them around in the oven, maybe bump the heat up just a touch. But for now, we're going in at 350 Fahrenheit. Classic temp for classic dishes. Hot dishes. What am I saying? Okay, let's go. Ooh-wee! Smells like grandma's house in here. Oh yeah. Look at this lineup. Speak to us, oh casserole gods. All of the hot dishes are finished. They're looking golden brown and, dare I say, beautiful. Like I said, we're gonna try all these individually, so I'm gonna take a small portion from each one, pop it on the plate, we'll give it a taste, then we'll make our own. Let's start with the chicken. I think I'll go for like an edge. I'll do like one of these. Oh yeah, I love the Ritz already. Ooh, baby, all right. Obviously, as these things cool down, they'll be a little easier to scoop and kind of hold their shape, but it's looking good. Yeah, it depends on your definition of good, but yeah. Zamboni the board. Next up, let's hit the tuna. Same thing, I'll go like corner piece. Ooh, crispy. Oh my God. Ugh. Wow. Is that crispy tuna? Noodles or cheese? Maybe all of the above. But that Frico is looking kind of good though. Frico looking like a freak though. And last, but certainly not least, the Tater Tot Hotdish. I like this because you can like really see your quadrants here. Oh boy. Oh my lordington. Wow, that is some creamed beef right there, if I don't say so myself. I feel like a spork is appropriate for this. I'm gonna start with the chicken, work down the line here. So, oh yeah. Oh crap. This is gonna be good, hopefully. All right, got the veg in there, shredded chickie. I love the look of the golden Ritz on this. All things considered, pretty appetizing. All right, so chicken pot pie energy for sure, but not like homemade chicken pot pie, like Marie Callender's chicken pot pie, which does hold a special place in my heart.
When it comes to the perfect pot pie, it's all in the...
The wild rice has a very strong flavor. It's kind of like that, you know, brown rice that as a kid, I really didn't like that much. As an adult, in the right dish, it's very good. It's almost kind of like a toasty rice flavor, a little more earthy than regular white rice. And the buttery Ritz crackers, dude, I don't know, that's good. I like it. All right, moving down the line, the classic Tater Tot Hotdish. I've never tried this. This is my first time ever trying this, so I'm excited. This dish has warmed the bones of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of upper Midwesterners for years. I feel like I'm joining the club, especially considering it's 7 degrees out right now, wind chill, -1. We love that.
Okay.
Not even on the tundra. All right. Oh crap. Oh crap. Gosh dang, that's good.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Tell you what, this makes me want to hop right onto a boat and go ice fishing. That doesn't make sense. I just wanted to say boat.
Boats are the star of the show.
Need to relax. I haven't eaten today. I've just been eating nibbles of cornflakes. This is sort of like a cottage pie, right? With American ingredients. The canned mushroom kind of blends into the beef and does complement it because mushroom and beef do go very well together. So do chicken and mushroom, but you get it. The vegetables, again, kind of got those chicken pot pie vegetable energy. But really, the tater tots here, yes, they're just fried potatoes, but there's a very nostalgic taste to these. These are the brand that I'm using here. I literally don't know how to say this brand. I've been buying this my entire life. Shout out big agriculture. Shout out Monsanto, shout out. Imagine like French fries and a burger. This clearly isn't that, but like potatoes, beef, it's gooey, it's savory. It's delicious. It's good winter food. I might just have to heat it again. Caucasian activities at its finest here. 3 casseroles. I think I'm partial to a beef hot dish as of now, but we gotta move on to our last one. I'm a little nervous for this one. I can't quite remember if I've had tuna noodle casserole before. That's what we call it, I guess, like in other parts of the Midwest, right? Tuna noodle casserole. I think that's what my wife calls it with her family. This is, believe it or not, a classic dish. It's been around for a very long time. This is retro as heck.
My tuna casserole is approved by the U.S. government.
I'm liking the frico. There's like a little bit of a kugel, sort of like lasagna, baked noodle cheese vibe going on in the corner there. Actually looks pretty appetizing in like I don't know, like post-World War II way. I'm gonna hit this in Chef Mike. It's been sitting out for a sec. Salud. Oh, I really wanna try this frico piece. Can you see that, man? I've had that before. I don't know when, I don't know where. It's definitely massaging a nostalgia lobe in my brain right now. I'm a tuna enjoyer. If you're not, you might not like that. I imagine that's what like the little boys and girls, you know, skip back home to school, open their door, and this is what they see on their table, right? This is post-World War II American Empire food, which is funny because it's very survival-ish with all this canned stuff in there. But that was novel and new and different, and probably getting ahead of myself here. I'll shut up, but yeah. Tuna noodle casserole, not bad. Of the 3, my least favorite probably, but I will say the peas in there, I know there's peas in this one as well. Are there peas in that? No. The peas in here work the best because I think those little pops of sweetness go really nice to kind of break up that cheesy fish, which is crazy to say, but yeah. Also, these buttery cornflakes here, that's a really powerful topping. Yeah, it's crunchy, they're buttery, they look great. I wouldn't think to have used cornflakes as the topping for my casserole off the jump, but after trying this, we might have to incorporate those. I think if I had to rank these, I would go tuna third, chicken second, classic tater tot first. Yeah. So now we're gonna take the best parts of these 3 hot dishes here and make our own version, right? I think I got a pretty decent idea of how to go about this. We're gonna go medium heat. Saucier. We'll start like all the other good Midwestern recipes with a load of cow wax. We're now gonna go in with our garlic, mushrooms, mushroom 1, mushroom 2, mushroom 3. And that calls for a hefty pinch of kosher and some black pea. We're just gonna cook these down until most of the moisture is released. Now listen, we're upgrading this, sure. We're using real mushrooms, we're making our mushroom, cream of mushroom from scratch, but also at the same time, I'm not trying to make this too fancy. I'm not gonna deglaze this with wine or brandy. We're not garnishing this with chives or anything crazy. I kinda wanna stick true and respect the original hot dish in the vibe of the hot dish, that homey, you know, church basement situation. So, you know, adding 3 types of mushrooms is already pushing it. Look at all that shroom juice. I was gonna add in some onions. Then I'm gonna hit it with this beef bouillon powder. I love the addition of the chicken bouillon powder in the chicken casserole, the chicken and rice casserole. So here we're just gonna add a little bit of beef bouillon to the mix, to our shrooms, make it that much more beefy. Now to thicken things up, just some all-purpose flour. Just gonna make sure that that coats the mushrooms and the onions. Very nice. And for the liquid, some chicken stock, some heavy cream. That's the cream of mushroom. Just gonna stir that up. I'm just gonna simmer this off just for a few minutes here until it really starts to thicken up. It's already looking pretty good. To finish, we're just gonna stir in our frozen peas and some parmigiano. We're not getting super fancy, we're just getting just a little fancy. Doubt many Minnesotan grandmothers have parm in their crib, but maybe nowadays they do. Oh yeah. Cream of boomer. Buttered Detroit style pizza pan because I ran out of casseroles. All right, we're gonna go with our egg noodles. These are a little smaller than the other ones. Nice little bed of nudes, hopefully get nice and crispy. You can break it up, but don't break it up like too much. I want like chunks in there if possible. A little textural variation. Next we have our pot roast. Nice thickums layer. Now I'm gonna go on with a layer of our cream of shroom goo. I'm gonna go edge to edge on this one. Now for ultimate crunch, we're going buttered cornflakes, butter crackers, those are Ritz, and French's onion. Wow. If I was really demonic, I would put butter all over this. All right. Oh my God. And now we're gonna lay on our crackers, French's, cornflake combo. Drowned in the burr, baptized in the butter. Just pat that all into the hot dish there. This is gonna be crunch layer number 1. For layer 2, I found something at the store that's kind of tater tot adjacent, but a little more fun. Smiley potatoes, all part of a balanced Midwestern diet. I think we're gonna have to make some two faces. I mean, come on, is that not dang cute? This thing gets the same treatment as the other casseroles, so into the oven, we'll see you in about 45 minutes. Ooh, yeah, what do we got here? Look at how happy they are to be absolutely roasted in the oven. All right, let's dig into this puppy. I'm gonna go for this quadrant here. Oh no, It's a heck of a situation we got here. All right, it's finally time to taste this thing. As you can see, we have a nice slop plate of smiley taters, noodles, beef, and creams, many creams. I'm gonna get a little bit of the pot roast, the crusties, the noodles, and a potato, which I kind of feel bad eating and stabbing in the face like that, but it's gonna have to happen. Salud. Yumbo, what's not to love? Very rich, obviously. This might be a good move here. Like some hot sauce on this, or like just some vinegar. I know, it seems weird at first, but a tiny little spritz might help wake things up. They do this with casserole in France, really rich bean and meat dish. So same idea, let's see. Yeah, that's a good play. Tiny drizzle of vinegar, even like a malt vinegar or hot sauce, very nice. I think it's important to remember that this food came from a period before globalization. These days we have all sorts of ingredients from all over the world at our fingertips. When this dish was developed and made and enjoyed, still is enjoyed today, but when it was first invented, it was not the case. And being from the upper Midwest, you know, in the winter, it's not uncommon to see like negative single-digit, double-digit days. And while in the summer, you can sort of take advantage of all that fresh produce, that fruit, all that wonderful bounty that summer and warm weather brings to the table. In the winter, it's quite literally the tundra and quite literally the opposite of that.
Fact. It's f***ing freezing. It's friggin' frigid.
So when you're reaching for that can of Campbell's, you know, the leftover protein, the dried cracker bits, you're using what's readily available, accessible, and, you know, affordable. And at the end of the day, this came from the need to feed a crowd on a budget in the cold weather when not a lot was available. It's pretty easy to kind of think of unlimited, like, you know, white people under-seasoning their food memes when it comes to food like this, just because it's so retro and funny, but to me, it just feels like a big Midwestern hug. I'm here for it. But remember, I only made four, but really three kind of like mainstream hot dishes today. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite hot dish? Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you're new to the channel, sub to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Best way to support us is over on the Grocery Fund, aka the Patreon. Come say what's good in the Discord. We're chilling, we're chatting. I do giveaways over there. Really, it's just a fun community of like-minded individuals who like to cook, like to talk about life, food, everything in between. So come introduce yourself. Also, cop some merch here. Try it. Yeah, that's one of the many t-shirts I offer on the store, so peep those. All the proceeds directly go to helping me continue to make videos, so I appreciate you. Let me know which hot dish is your absolute favorite in the comments below. I would love to hear. I know every family, every region, every person, of course, has their own favorite hot dish. That is all I got for you, so until next time. Bye-bye now. See you soon, eh? It's Canadian, but they're basically Canadian up there.